All right, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about making it cozy and familiar. As we have already discussed, you can often sell things through the associations you make with it. Now we're going to discuss how linking your product to things that are familiar to your customer can help to breed a cozy familiarity that is appealing. For products that are new, it can even be a way of overcoming the resistance to buying if you link the product with something they already know. One of the easiest ways to do this type of association is to link your products to some cultural phenomena or fad that is currently in the forefront of the mass consciousness. Once it is associated with some fad, by default, your product also gains tremendous popularity, right along with the fad. However, you do have to be careful that when a trend ends, that your sales don't dwindle too. The positive aspects of linking to a popular subject are obvious, but the negative aspects can sometimes be ignored and impact your sales. So remain aware that you always have to understand that linking your product to other cultural trends works both ways. So, what's the strategic plan here? You'll want to identify what trends are foremost in the mind of your visitor. They could be cultural, ethnic, behavioral, or simply a shift in the public's awareness. As an example, if you are selling kids' toys and there is a popular television series that has some, enormous popularity, if you can link your product to this series, you will experience good growth in your sales. Your product doesn't even have to be direct related to the event that you're exploiting for it to work, as long as it draws attention, even controversy sometimes, to your sales ad. Online controversy is a sure way to gain attention, even if it's explosive. If you understand how to manipulate a controversy to your advantage, you can even use that controversy to sell your product. At the very least, you'll increase your site's awareness and your brand's traffic. Sometimes an event is a good thing to link your product to, like a historical event, for example. This is actually done around major holidays when all sorts of, Christmas theme, or a gift shows up in the stores, new stuff, so on and so forth. But beyond the holidays, there are events that can influence your leads to buy your products. Earth Day for greenies, for instance. Highly controversial or anticipated events can be great product promoters. The American national elections, for instance, is a giant boom for people who sell items with logos. Now, they can sell t shirts, bumper stickers, and all sorts of different types of products by linking them to either the Republican or Democratic candidates. As different controversies erupt over the candidates, it can be a gold mine for people who want to show their party loyalties through, the products they buy. But this strategy isn't just, relegated to fads and controversies. It's also about making new products or unusual products more familiar and cozy. An example of this is an ad that was printed in the past selling smoke detectors that look intimidatingly high tech, which compared it to a very sensitive nose. Suddenly, the smoke detector wasn't so odd and frightening, but rather familiar to the average human being. In the process, the smoke alarm is reframed to something that a person can rely on every day to keep them out of danger, without being too concerned about the mechanics of the darn thing. So let's talk about the psychological triggers. By associating products with things that already are predominantly within the conscious mind of your buyers, it captures more attention from your market. Our minds are constantly filtering out vast amounts of input from many different sources: the media, friends, relatives, and even the internet. We have learned to multitask quite well, but at the same time, we don't quite pay full attention to everything that comes across our visual screen. So, in order to really grab our attention, something has to trigger either a deep familiarity to bypass the filters that throw out garbage inputs, or it has to stir such a controversy that it produces an emotional impact that also busts through your thinking filters. Human beings are also creatures of habit. They go to sleep on the same side of the bed every night and wake up and brush their teeth in the morning without fail. This type of routine is comforting to people and helps people to manage their lives, their emotions, and their thoughts. Once you've got an established lifestyle that makes you comfortable, you are pretty set in your ways and typically don't want to mess up a good thing. So, why would you switch from your morning cup of coffee to some other beverage? Why would you opt to eat a new toasted croissant when the old bagels are just as yummy and you've been eating them for years? The fact is that people won't just jump to try new things without first deciding whether they even understand why they'd want to do that in the first place. The familiarity of the old things are comforting, and it takes a lot of, momentum to change to something new. That's why linking new products to old things that are familiar works to sell them better. You're not really selling a new, strange, animal that no one has ever used before. You're selling an improved version of the same old, classic, and dependable item they've come to know and love. You aren't just asking them to believe you that this new thing will make their lives better. They already know it has, and now they can improve that experience up a notch too. This makes new things that may be difficult to sell because of their strange new offering a much more appealing prospect. Linking also works, on the memory, as this is exactly how people recall things in their long-term memory, by linking them to other memories that are more easily recalled. So, even if you don't sell the prospect immediately, your sales ad makes an emotional impact on the psyche that is stored much longer in the memory of the reader and more easily recalled later. Finally, associating your product with, dramatic events or culturally recognized phenomena will lead your products on an air of controversy. For those that harbor the inner rebel, they will jump on your bandwagon just to be included as part of that anti-culture movement. So, even for those that think they are evading, the propensity of human beings to stick with what they know, this strategy can work by linking the product to the thing they know and dislike and then providing it as part of an anti-culture solution. So, how do you implement this effectively? There are various ways to implement this strategy. For a new product that has unbelievable claims because of it's so novel, you'll want to link it to something familiar and comforting. These types of items shouldn't be linked with, controversy because they're controversial enough. For existing products that you just want to build a campaign employing this strategy, you can brainstorm all of the current events and cultural phenomenon, news items and fads that might be able to be used to sell this product. If you are using or trying to sell this product with a new feature, you can link it to the old product or something familiar to help them accept the new feature. A more subtle way to associate something that's familiar with a positive framework is to use common items that are held in high esteem to get the message across that this is something worthwhile to possess. For example, the words diamond, gold, and platinum are used in a variety of products and even memberships to link those qualities associated with these items to other products and services. Ever hear of platinum spark plugs? They go for about 60 to 100 bucks each. That's what the power of a little clever linking can do for you. It can not only make something seem more familiar, but it also gets some of the same, aura of the qualities of the items you've associated with it. So, in a sense, you've, manipulated the potential buyer's perception of quality by associating with familiar but luxurious elements in nature. If you can use some of the terms that are being used in the fad to help link your items to the more popular item, it will be easily associated and understood to be linked to it. Like when Star Wars was big, that still is today, anything that used some of the classic sayings of this blockbuster film was instantly recognized. Yoda saying in particular, where an excellent way to tie into popular culture and still be able to use them in your marketing efforts. Spoofs and takeoffs from the saying The force is with you. We're humorous and eye-catching. The way this strategy can really take off is if you link to something that is currently in the news media. If there's a controversy over some news piece, like when women burn their bras, then link your product to service to the particular controversy to get some instant media attention. You don't even have to really be for or against the controversy or in women's lingerie. When women burn their bras, there were even pizza places baking pizza shaped like bras in order to garner attention, and it worked. So while you want to associate with different cultural phenomena, even controversy, it doesn't have to be all that serious. You don't have to take sides, and often it's better if you don't. If you take one side, you lose the other side as a potential customer. So the best way to implement this is to make a social statement without offending people uh, while you're at it, right? So let's talk about timing this strategy. This strategy is reserved for when you're making the pitch for your product or service. You can't really link two things together. If one of the items, your product, remains an unknown, so there's a bit of tightrope you will be walking here. You want to associate with some powerful symbol in the mass media, but you don't necessarily want to overwhelm your sales pitch. Remember that the reason you are using this strategy is to sell your product or service, not to promote some cause or movie. So this strategy works well as press release and other mass media items that draw attention, but also talk about your own product too. You can continue to use the same strategy on your sales page, but also list all the benefits of your product and use the strategy to introduce your product first. That way, people who found out about your product from searching for terms related to the mass symbol will be able to quickly shift from, that thing to your own product and service with a great degree of familiarity and comfort. If done correctly, this strategy is a smooth way to lead huge amounts of people from other sites or other offers or other stores to your store or sales page online. That's it for this lesson. Hope you learned a lot. We'll see you in the next video.